You are tuned in to the 5-Minute Signal. I am Aris Sterling, Performance Research Expert. This is not a health podcast. This is your maintenance manual for the body. We don't do hope here. We do reality. 5 minutes on the clock. Let's get to work. The news today centers on a fundamental shift in how we perceive the 3 pounds of bacteria living in your digestive tract. For decades, the narrative has been trapped in the realm of probiotics, the idea that swallowing a few billion random organisms will somehow fix a broken system. That era is officially dead. The leading edge of performance research has moved into precision metagenomics and AI-integrated microbial mapping. Recent data from large-scale longitudinal studies suggests that we are no longer looking for good or bad bacteria. Instead, we are looking at metabolic output. We are seeing the emergence of technology that allows us to treat the microbiome as an internal pharmacy, a command center capable of synthesizing complex anti-inflammatory compounds, neurotransmitters, and longevity-linked molecules like urolithin A and butyrate directly within your bloodstream. The news isn't that you have a gut. The news is that you have a chemical refinery that you are likely mismanaging through sheer ignorance of its technical specifications. Why it matters is simple. Your microbiome is the primary interface between the external world and your internal biology. It is the gatekeeper of your immune system and the manufacturer of the chemical signals that tell your brain how to feel and your cells how to age. If you want to optimize your health span, you cannot ignore the fact that these microbes outnumber your human cells. When we talk about performance optimization, we are talking about substrate availability. If your internal pharmacy is understaffed or lacks the raw materials to produce short-chain fatty acids, your systemic inflammation rises, your insulin sensitivity drops, and your cognitive clarity vanishes. By using AI to sequence these populations, we can now predict with staggering accuracy how a specific individual will respond to specific inputs. This isn't about general wellness, it's about engineering a biological environment where your internal production of life-extending compounds is maximized 24 hours a day. We are moving from the passive consumption of nutrients to the active engineering of biological software. The hard truth is that 90% of the probiotic supplements sitting on store shelves are biologically useless. They are the equivalent of dropping a handful of seeds into a scorched desert and expecting a forest to grow overnight. Most of these strains never colonize. They are transient travelers that are purged by your system within hours. Furthermore, the conventional wisdom of just eat more fiber is a gross oversimplification that ignores the reality of individual microbial compatibility. If your microbiome lacks the specific genetic machinery to break down certain fibers, you aren't cleansing, you're causing systemic stress and fermentation-induced inflammation. The uncomfortable reality is that many of the health foods pushed by influencers are actually degrading your internal pharmacy by introducing emulsifiers, thickeners, and natural sweeteners that act like napalm on your microbial diversity. You have been sold a version of gut health that is convenient for the industry, but disastrous for your biological potential. Your gut is a battlefield, and most of you are sending in unarmed soldiers without a map.
The actionable move requires a shift from shotgun supplementation to tactical precision. First, stop guessing and start measuring. You must perform a high-resolution metagenomic sequencing test, not a basic gut health kit, but a full shotgun sequencing analysis that identifies the specific functional genes of your microbes. This data is your blueprint. It tells you exactly which drugs your internal pharmacy is currently capable of manufacturing and which raw materials are missing from your supply chain. Second, optimize your prebiotic substrate diversity. Once you know your microbial makeup, you must provide the specific diverse fibers, such as resistant starches, polyphenols, and specific oligosaccharides, that act as the fuel for your internal production of butyrate and acetate. Think of this as loading the raw chemicals into the refinery. You are not eating for your taste buds. You are feeding the workforce that maintains your longevity. Third, eliminate biointerference. You must ruthlessly audit your intake for emulsifiers like polysorbate 80 and carbomethyl cellulose, as well as artificial sweeteners like sucralose. These compounds are proven to thin the mucosal lining of the gut, allowing endotoxins to leak into your systemic circulation.
You cannot build a high-performance pharmacy on a foundation of structural decay. Clean the deck, measure the data, and fuel the factory. Your biology doesn't negotiate with your intentions, it only executes on the precision of your technical inputs. I'm Aris Sterling. This has been the 5-Minute Signal. Stay sharp. This program is for informational and educational purposes only. This content is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult with a qualified healthcare provider before making any health-related decisions.